Okay, welcome back to the K Files. And in case we have a new viewer, or some new viewers, we hope, we'll tell you how this works. We have a nonprofit that Team Cold Case, and we want tips from the public. We want to solve murders. There are a lot of unsolved murders out there, and we want to solve murders with your help. You know, law enforcement says all the time, we need the public's help. Without you, there's so many crimes that they just cannot solve. And it is anonymous. It is anonymous, and we have $15,000 in the pot. We do fundraisers because we want to pay you. We want to give you money, and it is cash, and it will be up to $15,000 according to what law enforcement, how valuable law enforcement feels that your tip is. You call the number on the screen. The hotline number is up there. You can also call if it's a Rocky Mount case. You can call, or you can always call, no matter where the case is. Twin County Crime Stoppers, 977-1111. Or you can also, with the City of Rocky Mount, if it's a Rocky Mount case, you can do text to tip. So, and they will not know who you are. So that's important, and it's important if you know anything about a crime, do your duty and get people off the street. That's what we need to do, because they are re-offending.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it's the smallest tip, something that someone could think is irrelevant in solving a case. If they would just come forward and share that one little tip that they think is insignificant, I mean, it could mean the difference in breaking a case.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, we'll be talking about some cases this morning. What's the first one we're going to start with, JP?
Okay, we finished up last week, I believe, with the Magdalene Puckett case. Let's jump in here with Tony Grant. Tony Grant. This case is from July 2nd, 1996. In the early morning hours, the Rocky Mount Fire Department was dispatched to a house fire at 628 Myrtle Avenue in Rocky Mount. When the fire department arrived, they made entry into a home and found Tony Grant, 47, in the hallway of the residence outside of a burning bedroom. Firefighters moved Grant outside, and that is when they found out that he had been beaten and burned. He had multiple blunt force injuries to his face and head, stab wounds, and burns about his body. So it sounds like to me right out of the gate that they attempted arson to camouflage or to hide this homicide.
Exactly. And that's a bad way, you know. I don't know if they set the house on fire
That's
they
what
had done, probably.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
Yeah. So
where's Myrtle Avenue? Now, I'm not familiar with
it is
Myrtle.
off of Grand Avenue.
Okay.
Off of Grand Avenue. I don't know exactly where, but I know I've seen it back in there. So if anybody knows anything about Tony Grant, if you knew Tony Grant, you know you want justice. For the families, you want closure.
Yeah.
For the Grant family. So I know it was a long time ago, July of 96, but if you know or you saw something like this, or you know about it, you still know about it now. So,
you know, in cases like this, the family, you know, they'll always have a void in their life.
yes.
But to know that somebody's been held accountable for that action, it does offer a little bit of peace to them.
Yes.
I know I would feel a whole lot better knowing that somebody's been held accountable and that person's just not out there roaming the streets, wreaking terror and havoc on someone else.
That's exactly right. And I truly believe that if they've done this and gotten by with it, they have done something else.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. There's no telling how many cases in this book are related just from the perpetrator standpoint.
Right.
The same person involved in crime after crime after crime.
That's
There's no doubt in my
exactly
mind.
Okay.
This next case is Nakia Shimon Bynum. Nakia Shimon Bynum. This case is from September 9th, 1997. Nakia Shimon Bynum, 21, was reported missing by her grandmother, who last saw her on August 24th, 1997. Further investigation revealed that another individual saw Bynum on August 25th, 1997 at 603 A Broad Street in Wilson. Nakia Shimon Bynum left her 18-month-old daughter with her sister. Left home around 7 p.m. on August 25th, 1997. And on September 9th, 1997, a deceased person in a cardboard box was located off Benton Road in a field in rural Nash County by a farmer tending to his land. Later that month, it was determined that those remains were those of Nakia Shimon Bynum.
Wow.
And that was matched through DNA or dental records.
Wow. And you know, a lot of cases are matched with dental records. A lot of them. If anybody knows anything, September of 97, Nakia Shimon Bynum. On August 24th, she was last seen. And as JP said, I don't know where Broad Street is, but 608A Broad Street in Wilson. So if you know anything about this case, please call one of the numbers. Call somebody. Call the local authorities. Call Wilson Police Department. But call somebody if you know anything and you want to help. I know you want to help if you know something. So if you see something, say something. And even the Rocky Mount Police Department said in the article about the gun being found at the school, that is a slogan that they're using in the school now.
If you see something, say something.
Yeah, they're telling that to the students, trying to ingrain that so that they will come forward and say something. So it's so important. If you do know something, please come forward on this case of Nakia Shimon Bynum.
This next case has very limited information, but we're going to share what we have. It's a Wilson case. Constance Melissa Pender. Constance Melissa Pender. This case is from October 10th, 1997. Officers responded to the 1300 block of Phillips Street in Wilson in reference to a body located in the woods near the train tracks. The body was that of a female, and she was later identified as Constance Melissa Pender, who had been assaulted and killed.
Wow. In the woods near the train tracks.
So the only train tracks that I'm familiar with in Wilson is going to be, towards downtown near the Whirligig Park and all of that.
Right.
But I'm not familiar with Phillips Street exactly, so it has to be back in that area.
Yes. Well, if anybody knows anything in the Wilson area, if you knew Constance Melissa Pender, this happened October 10th, 97. I know it was a while ago, but we need to solve this case.
And 'tis the season for spikes in crime and things like that.
Yes.
When you're out and about, you're doing Christmas shopping, try to go in a group. Try to avoid going, alone. Keep in mind it gets dark really quick. Be mindful of parking near aerial lighting. If you are shopping alone, stand at the door as you're leaving and wait and kind of piggyback off someone else that's leaving that's kind of going in the direction that you parked.
Absolutely. Don't walk out by yourself.
Scan the parking lot. Look for that one person that's kind of out of place in the parking lot that's watching.
Yes.
This past week I went to Home Depot up in Knightdale, middle of the day.
Right.
And they were extremely busy. And I got out of my Jeep to go up to the doors of Home Depot, and out in the middle of the parking lot is just this random guy standing there. So I kind of stopped and just kind of watched him, and he was zigzagging the cars in the rows, just going from car to car. And I couldn't tell if he was pulling on the door handles, if he was just looking in to kind of gauge if he saw anything. But when I came out, he was halfway across the parking lot back towards Target, still zigzagging the parking lot, walking. And I think he was checking doors
I'm sure
or
he
looking for
was.
packages in the back glass.
Do not leave packages in plain sight.
You know, keep them in the trunk. If you have to leave them in your car, look, have a blanket, a quilt, something.
Yeah, if you've got
to
an
cover 'em up.
SUV and you have a blanket in the back of your SUV to put them in the back, or if you've got a trunk, like JP said, put them in the trunk, but don't have them in plain sight.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're out there. I'm telling you, they're breaking in cars like crazy. You know, the DA, Jeff Marsigli, spoke to our Rotary Club Monday of this week. He said, I have 17 murder cases right now that I'm trying to, just murder cases. Of course, he has 17,000 cases this year altogether with traffic tickets and everything involved. 17,000. And he said, right now, I'm felonies, 17 felonies that we're trying to try right now. So, on the book. So, you know, he talked about how, you know, the fentanyl. He was really big talking about the fentanyl and stuff like that, being turned into pills and just, he said, it scares me to death. He said the first case, when I first became the DA, he said I got really, really christened good because my first case was a prominent family. Their daughter got a hold of fentanyl.
I've said this all
Died.
along. I mean, it's not just rich families, poor families, black, white. Fentanyl is a very dangerous drug. It's deadly. It doesn't care where you come from. It doesn't care about your background. It can happen in any family.
And it's so camouflaged and
Yes, it is.
disguised.
Yeah. I saw
Don't
on
pick
the
up
news this
anything
morning,
off the ground.
kids in Fayetteville, elementary age kids in Fayetteville, some kid had gummy bears, and they think the gummy bears were contaminated with fentanyl or something similar.
Oh.
And these children are in the hospital this morning.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's just really scary. They say that they're dropping money on the ground so that you will pick it up. And don't pick up money right now on the ground. They say do not pick up money. So anyway, there's just lots of disguises, as he was saying. So he's concerned. He has a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old, and he said it scares me to death every day. So anyway, we've just got to be mindful, and I think Jeff has been a very good DA.
I do too.
People think that he's doing a great job.
I know for a fact the law enforcement community loves his approach
Yes, I
to
think so.
how he's handling the DA's office.
Yes.
I know that for a fact.
He told the local law enforcement, the sheriffs, he said, if you pick somebody up for, or he said, if there's a death, he said, if there is a death, I want you to find out from fentanyl or drugs. I want you to find out where they came from. He said, I want to get to the root of who sold them those drugs. And so he said that's really big for him. And he's happy because he was talking about Representative Alan Chesser. He was in the room. He was a guest at Rotary, and he was listening. And he said, I want to thank the local legislature because they passed a law now. Before, they had to prove that cash money changed hands. They had to prove that money changed hands in order to convict somebody for drugs. And he said, do you know how hard that is to prove cash? Now you don't. There's a new law. If drugs changes hands, they can convict drugs. That's all they
good.
got to know is that they were doing this. the money doesn't matter. They can now convict them. So he is really, really happy about that law. He said it just makes it so much easier for them to get to pin this on the person. So,
And you know, Alan is loved. Alan Chester, our representative, he is loved by the law enforcement and first responder community as well.
yes,
He is a former law enforcement officer, and
Yes,
a lot of
he
people
is.
don't know that.
mm-hmm.
Great guy. He's from the Middlesex area, Southern Nash County, and he has done a lot for the people of Nash County, and they may not even know it.
Yeah,
But he's put about $55 million in the hands of different. He gave the sheriff a lot of money. He got him a lot of money from the legislature.
Yes.
I know the rural fire department's got a lot from him.
yes,
He is very pro law enforcement, pro first responder, and we're lucky to have Alan Chester
yes,
to
we
represent
are.
Nash County in NC House.
Yes, that's exactly right. So, anyway, just wanted to interject, since we're talking about murders, how many they are fighting right now in the court system, trying to solve, trying to convict these people so they're not, they don't get back out.
Yeah.
So
And it takes a joint effort.
it does. It really does. So anyway, well, we better go to break.
Okay.
We'll go to break. Come back with some more cases right after this. All right, welcome back, and JP's going to present us now with another case.
This next case is also limited information. David Moody. This case is from August 22nd, 1998. Rocky Mount Police was dispatched to a shooting at the corner of Goldleaf Street and Carolina Avenue in Rocky Mount. When on the scene, they found David Moody suffering from a gunshot wound. He was transferred to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. Again, this is David Moody, August 22nd, 1998.
And you know, Goldleaf Street and Carolina Avenue are also over there close to Atlantic Avenue. I mean, there's a
So
lot
this
of
is it-
cases in
yeah.
the book that we find are right there in the vicinity of Atlantic Avenue and Grand Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these cases. But anyway,
Has those neighborhoods improved any over the past 20 years, or?
I don't know, because there's still a lot of crime over there. We're still seeing a lot of crime. A lot of the cases now we get press releases, you know, that there's been a shooting in this vicinity all the time.
And that's the neighborhood that's kind of over there where the old Pete's Inn used to be.
Yes.
And Roses was over there, and
Yes, Fairview
Road.
Yes, Fairview Road starts right there at the Hardee's and McDonald's,
okay.
and Atlantic Avenue ends there. So that is really Atlantic Avenue, Fairview Road,
Okay.
same road.
Okay.
So yes, you're right. It is that general vicinity, and Meadowbrook, of course, is right there. So, but gunshot wound, we don't know much, as you said. He was transferred to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries, but all we know is a gunshot wound. Don't know a lot about it, but maybe we can ask Rocky Mount Police Department next time they come.
Okay, this next case, Terry Vernard Mitchell. This case is from February 28th, 1999. Around 7:43 a.m., officers responded to 553 Nash Street East in Wilson, behind the J&H pool room, in reference to a subject that was hurt. Officers arrived and found Mitchell deceased from his stab wounds. Is this the one that Kay did he was like he went to the actual place downtown Wilson. There was some video shot. It used to be a pool hall.
Okay, that was the record store.
The record store.
Yes, that was a
Okay.
record store, which we do need to talk about again.
Yeah.
That'll be coming up for us to talk about soon, I think, in our book. But,
Okay.
But yeah, no, I don't think that was the case. But we do a lot of Wilson ones.
We do.
It seems like.
I wish they would participate.
I do too.
You know.
I really do. 19 years old, on the phone with his brother. Somebody was chasing him. Wow. His brother heard him say to the person, "You don't have to do this," before he was shot and killed. Can you imagine being on the phone with your brother? There's nothing you can do because you're on the
That's
phone.
a helpless feeling.
Yeah, nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, that is the Melvin Eugene Avent case. That was going to be the next one we talked about, but Melvin Eugene Avent, that case is from December 29th, 1999, around 1:40 a.m. Melvin Eugene Avent, like you say, he was 19 years old at the time.
And what are you doing out at 1:40 a.m.?
Yeah, actually on the phone with his brother as someone was chasing him. His brother heard him say to the person, "You don't have to do this," before he was shot and killed on the corner of Looper and Mullen Street in Rocky Mount. You don't have to do that. Now, you can say what you want to. Whoever did this, they play that over and over. They
Yes.
have if they've got a conscience at all.
Evidently,
They
the
replay
guy,
that.
knew that somebody had the gun pointed at him, probably. And he said, "You don't have to do this." And he's on the phone. His brother is hearing him say this.
I wonder if he had time to share with his brother who he thought it was.
That would be interesting. But he probably did not. Or we might have this case pretty much solved. But Mullen Street, Looper Street, I think that is off of Raleigh Road, if I'm not mistaken. Not really sure, but I think it is off of Raleigh Road somewhere. So, anyway, Melvin Eugene Avent, 1999. So,
This next case is a Wilson case.
that we know absolutely nothing about.
Nothing. Ramon Elias Matute Ortiz. Officers responded to the 700 block of Black Creek Road in Wilson in reference to an individual shot in the schoolyard. And that is all the information that we have.
That is it.
Don't know what schoolyard. Black Creek Road, Wilson, August 17th, 1999. And we don't have time of day. It's just very limited information made available to us.
Yes, it is.
If you know anything about that, please reach out to us. Let us know.
Give us a tip. We would like to give you cash money. And it's Christmas time. It is Christmas. Would you not like some money to spend on one of your loved ones' Christmas present? Well, we'll give it to you within 2 days. Within 48 hours, we'll make sure you have it in your hand. And it's not upon conviction. It is upon arrest. All they have to do is make an arrest from your tip.
This next case is James Whelan. We've talked about this several times. James Whelan. This case is from February 20th, 2000. Unknown suspects broke into a home on 405 Fairfield Drive in Rocky Mount. James O. Cotton Whelan, who was 86 years old at the time, was bound with duct tape. His wife, Margie Amato Whelan, who was 73 at the time, suffered a broken hip and was transferred to the hospital. James Whelan died in the residence, and Margie Whelan passed away in March 2008. So it sounds like it was possibly like a home
That's
invasion
what
or
it
a
sounds
B&E.
like.
Mr. Whelan was bound and gagged with duct tape. His wife was apparently struck down, suffered a broken hip, who died. years later. 405 Fairfield Drive in Rocky Mount.
I don't really know where Fairfield Drive is. But 80, you know what? It just breaks my heart when there's a home invasion, period. But when there's a home invasion, 86 years old.
That might have played a role in this target.
Yeah.
You know, elderly
Yeah.
people that probably are alone.
Yeah.
Folks, if you have elderly parents, one of the best things you can do, if you call them on the phone to check on them, neighbors don't see it. Bad guys don't see it. If you'll make an effort to pull in that yard regularly, so that the people who might want to perpetrate a crime,
Right.
they see constant visitors in and out.
That's right.
They're less likely to be a target, because, you know, criminals love easy prey.
Yes, they do.
You know, take a minute, stop by, send your children by, darken that door, make a visit, be in and out of that house.
Absolutely. Good advice. Okay, well, that's it for the K-Files for today. Thank you, JP, for being with me, and we will see you back next week for more of the K-Files.